They say it's with constraint and restriction that true creativity thrives. Haikus have just 17 syllables, a painter the limits of the canvas, and a trail a beginning and an end. However, no one's questioning whether these mediums of expression are nearing their creative end. I'm here at the Audain Art Museum in Whistler, just a stone's throw away from mountains like this, from terrain like this, at the epicenter of North America's mountain biking. But there's one piece of this exhibition which really shows me that restriction and limitations are merely ways to superdrive real creativity. The traditional mountain bike has, in many ways, broken outside of its creative box, and there are very few barriers left. Materials can be made into any shape, small bikes turned into absolute brutes, and reliability nearly totally assured. But there is one niche in mountain biking where necessity is still very much the mother of invention, where those 17 syllables are still ringing in your ears to drive you to think of something even more profound, even more creative. So sit back and very much don't relax, because today we're talking about the Bowhead Reach. As you may have noticed, this bike is very different to anything else that we've featured on the channel so far, and I personally think that's very exciting. You see, sometimes I know that I can come across as a bit of a know-it-all, the kind that would explain fine art in simplistic, heavy-handed tones. But with this, I'm a total newbie, and I get to really rely on people that know far, far more than me. In fact, I don't even know where to start.
I think focus on the front articulation and the front suspension unit. The articulation is such a big deal, and it's not in the way that a lot of people think. It's not like a trophy truck where it's just moving. It's that you, the rider, have discrete and 100% control over it. So you can lean into a corner, or you can keep yourself level on a side slope, or you can anticipate a bump coming up on one side and take weight off that wheel and it'll climb over. Even though it is a fairly basic movement of a parallelogram, it's really you who makes it a functional thing.
The front end of this bike, for a bike nerd, is absolutely fascinating. There are linkages, there's CNC'd intricate parts, there are shocks. But to focus on it, there are two really clear things you need to understand. First of all, this bike has suspension, it absolutely does, but that's not what the articulation is. You see, when you're on a two-wheel mountain bike, you're stopping the wheels sliding. That's what you're trying to do, as you weight the outside of the bike to deliver grip into your tires. However, on a three-wheel bike, you're actually trying to resist the tipping force. Because the rider's weight is bolted to the chassis, this needs to be done through the articulation of the chassis itself. It lets the wheels almost act like a split diff in some ways. One can rise, letting it go over obstacles or uneven terrain very easily. So although it isn't suspension, it acts in a similar way, and it's very, very important. But essentially, on a two-wheel bike, we're trying to fight the slip, and on this, to find grip, we need to add some twisting and angulation. Sometimes with technological advancement, it can feel like it's about you losing agency, that it's about you not having your own way. Whether that's a phone app that you don't understand or a fridge freezer with 17 different personalities, it can feel like you have less control. The thing I love about this technology, it's about granting agency. It's about giving people a voice. It's about letting the talent speak. So we're here in Whistler. Let's find out what they have to say. Earlier, I was able to get up close and personal with the Bowhead, and any mountain biker would be able to see the parts and the spec and understand that it's an aggressive spec that'll be catered to gravity riding. But I think whatever my expectation is as we travel to the top of Whistler Bike Park, it is going to be defied. I think at the core of the Bowhead, to a certain extent, it is about defiance. And I'm meeting two of their riders at the top here who are going to show me their favorite terrain, where they think they can push the bikes the absolute hardest. And whatever I'm thinking, even though I've already managed and changed my expectation, I think it's going to be exceeded further. I'm very excited. So I've been joined by Bowhead riders Cole Bernier and Gustavo Ortiz. Boys, are you ready to show me what you can do? Jesus Christ! It's cooking! Yes! Fuck yeah! That's chunky. Oh, this is tech, this is tight. Look at that. This is it! Yeah! Dude, some of the compressions, the bike is working so hard. After some flat out laps following the boys at warp speed, it was time to ride the Bowhead myself. So Cole, it's finally time for me to open these things.
It's time.
In my head, I mean, apparently the pin is in, but that feels like a lot of movement.
Some good suspension going on right there, that's about it.
Overall, if you can broadly explain the general idea of what I should be trying to do.
Yeah, so with the Bowheads, the Reach and the RX, we're riding the Reach today. They have an articulating front end. So it kind of allows you to separate from your handlebars and basically leaning. With a rigid bike, they're really tippy because they're a lot narrower footprint. So allowing you to kind of like lean into corners or, you know, off-camber sections, you can have a wheel higher than the other without tipping over. So kind of the biggest tip that I find helps with new riders is leading with your hips, kind of like skiing. You want to have that kind of ski, like lower body, upper body separation. So when you're going into a corner, I always try and think about dropping my left hip in first, not dropping my shoulder in, keeping the shoulders nice and level, but just dropping that hip in and letting the lean of the bike. Try not to worry about what the handlebars are doing because it's going to feel complete opposite of what you're used to.
Okay, and when you say left hip, that's for a left turn?
Exactly.
Okay, so the inside hip's the thing that dips?
Yeah, inside hip's going to go that way. You're going to kind of, your steering is going to steer you that way, but your bars are going to go the opposite direction.
Almost a bit like a quad bike.
Similar.
Kind of like on a quad, you're always trying to weight the inside, it feels like.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. With the quad though, like everything stays stationary and you're leaning way over. Yeah. Whereas this, you don't want to lean your upper body. You want to keep your upper body kind of centered in the handlebars.
I can't believe that this is not the articulated mode. It's nuts. The whole thing feels so supple underneath me.
Totally.
It feels like it's just, I don't know, I'm excited. I'm a bit nervous.
That's healthy.
But we're going to work it out. Gee, watching you ride, you seem so happy to let the front wheels and the rear wheels be at completely different directions, almost scanning into things. Where are you feeling the grip? Is it kind of on the front, or are you just trusting that it's gonna kind of find again?
I trust always the outside wheel. Okay. And that's the one that I feel that it's like a bit more communicated with the rear one. Mm-hmm. Like it's not like a straight line like as a normal bike. It's like a bit offset. So when you're turning, you're finally turning with the support of the outside wheel and the rear tire. The left one, like the inside wheel helps, but the one that it's doing most of the work, it's the one from the outside.
And when it comes to placement, we've got some baby berms in front of us. How are you trying to have both wheels on positive camber, or just trying to focus on getting that outside on with a lot of support?
The wheelbase, it's way longer, so you need like kind to like cut the turn normally. So yeah, I just try to go as high as I can with the outside wheel and then like cut it in the middle. Yeah.
Well, is it time to pull the pin?
Always.
I think it is. And it's just this one here, hey?
What will stand out to Henry is when he pulls the pin and the articulation, and then it's a total, then all bets are off.
Oh my God. What the Oh, no. And you ride around like this?
Right, is the bat, yeah.
So if you can see like where you put your weight, the handlebar like just follows the movement.
Right.
Yeah, nice.
So that's the practice lap over. And I like the challenge of actually doing a proper trail in Whistler Bike Park. I've got 2 great guides who I'm sure will give me plenty of pointers along the way. And I think we get into it. I think we try and do an actual downhill trail. One of the easier ones, admittedly, and see what happens. Crank it up, baby. Oh my God, that is so fast. Riding the Bowhead was certainly humbling, but I did feel myself getting better. But progress was slow. Let's get back to the professionals to see what these things can really do. Riding the Bowhead was amazing. Simply put, by narrowing the chassis, they've really widened the remit. The more I treated it like something new, the more unfamiliar it felt. The more I treated it like something I knew what I was dealing with, the more it felt just like a normal bike, albeit a very, very capable one. When I came into this, I had a whole host of expectations, but I think the thing with the Bowhead is not about expectations. It's not about belief. It's about something a whole lot bigger.
It's not necessarily an education of people saying like these bikes can do this, like you need to believe in it. It has nothing to do with that. It's just you have to witness it.
So you've got to see it. You got to see it to believe it.
You got to see it to believe it, people.